The following broadcast is intended for mature audiences. These are real people sharing very real, deeply personal experiences. This content may be considered triggering for others and for those who are sharing. The chat room is a privilege intended for discussions and sharing. You are not being asked to agree, but you are being asked to stay civil and refrain from personal attacks. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Am I Mental, a live podcast where real people share stories about how life impacts mental health and how mental health impacts life. I'm your host, E, and with us tonight is co-host Os.
What's up, Am I Mental fan?
And everybody else has abandoned us tonight. Now, before we get started, I want to thank everyone for your continued support. I cannot put into words just how much your support means to not only, I mean, I'm sure it means a lot to the co-host and all that, but it means a lot to me. That said, I promised to have an episode this week. It was absolutely going to happen. Nothing is going to stop me from having an episode about me and my disassociations.
Hold my beer.
Life laughed, said, hold my beer, and then unbuckled the belt and took it out, and man, did it smack me. We had a death in the family, and I am just not up to having that particular discussion, and had some things come to realization today that I don't know that I'm even going to be able to really even do the episode myself, like even beyond this. Os has offered to take over. Of course, fits the theme of this podcast. Guest cancels at the last minute. And someone has to pull something out their ass and talk about it. But Os has a great topic. So yeah, why don't I just go ahead and hand it over to you? I will be back next week, most likely. We do have some guests scheduled, and I will go ahead. We do have a couple openings left this season. I will reschedule the disassociation episode. Also, one of the guys that was supposed to be on to help me has COVID, so yeah, he probably wouldn't have made it on anyway. Without further ado, Os.
Thanks, E. So today, trying to come up with a topic that might help some of y'all out. Was talking it through with a couple of people, and I was reflecting on my own life, on things that have impacted me. And depression has been a part of my life. I'm sure the same for many of you. And so I wanted to talk about what depression looks like for me and what I've done about it. So today's episode is called Achieving Goals to Strengthen Our Mental Health. And really, it's all about my process. I don't know if it'll work for you, but I wanted to share it to see if you're going through tough times, if you're going through depression, some things you might be able to try to help yourself out. Yep. All right. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about depression. Actually, before I jump into that, I'd like to point out something to everybody. Tomorrow, September 30th, is National Podcast Day. So you can go and celebrate your favorite podcasters by listening to their shows, or even better, sharing your favorite shows with your friends and family. And get the word out. We'd love it if you'd share our show. And really, podcasters are a big community. If you shared anyone's show, it would be great. But tomorrow, make sure you listen to somebody's podcast. So depression. It's different for everybody, right? It can be quiet. It can be loud. It can be impactful. It can look like it's not having... it can look like somebody's not depressed and they're fine, but they're not. for me, it leads into self-worth issues, right? I feel like I can't accomplish or do anything. I get stuck in circular thinking, right? I can't do it, so why should I bother doing it? And then I don't do it, so it doesn't get done, and I think I can't do anything because nothing is ever getting done, and it's really becomes self-fulfilled prophecies, right? It's not leaving the house for days. It's a lot of people who never experienced it. I think this is gross. It's not showering for days. It's not eating, or it's doing nothing but eating. Um, it's uh, it's really rough to go through, and unless you have been there yourself, it's really hard to understand. A lot of people will say, um, a lot of people will say, why don't you just snap out of it? It's not, it's not that easy. If it was, we wouldn't have such a mental health epidemic. Um, so what I've done about depression, I've been to a lot of therapy. I've read a lot of books. Um, but what it comes down to, what works for me is faking it. Uh, I'm sorry, trying to think and read chat at the same time, and having ADD, it's pulling me all over the place. Um, it's faking it until you make it, right? Because ultimately, what you have, which has been proven time and again, that the brain listens to what the mouth says, right? So self affirmations, I think, is what it's called. Your inner voice is as important as your outer voice. Talking positively to yourself instead of just saying I can't do something, saying, I can do this, and cheer yourself on. Um, and but what do you do? Really, what do you do when you don't have the forethought to catch yourself in the moment when you have that negative inner voice? You have to do something active. Um, you something that you can control in the moment, and that's what I'm going to be really getting into today.
And I decided to jump back in for a minute. When we have a chance on this, I think that with what you're saying, about how when you're depressed, how it's hard to understand, I would be willing to read the essay I wrote that wound up being the catalyst that started this entire podcast and was the focus of the first episode, because it ties
That'd
into
be
this.
awesome.
Have you ever heard
That'd
it?
be great. I have not.
Oof.
You want to read it now?
Sure. It's called A Blank Page. A blank page. The oddly salty taste of an eraser and the subtle resistance of the metal holding it to the pencil bending between teeth. The smell of freshly scraped wooden graphite and the jabbing pain of tapping a fingertip on the sharpened point. The page measures 8.5 inches across by 11 inches long, but it feels like it's the size of the Great Salt Flats in Utah. Blindingly bright, plain white, unmarred, yet it's just a blank page. They say the best way to start writing is to just simply start writing. About what? I don't know. But isn't that the problem? Where do you start? The feeling of breathing around the pencil. A slight pressure in the chest and a slightly accelerated heartbeat. Ah, my old friend, anxiety. I should be writing. A blank page. An insurmountable amount of surface to etch and mar with cryptic markings by moving the pencil's sharp tip. Is it still sharp? I better check. Slight pain on the fingertip. Yep, still sharp. Do I guide it slowly and deliberately like choreographing a dance, leaving behind beautiful markings? Or do I move it rapidly to simply get the words out like a swordsman battling for his life, leaving behind barely legible slashes and scrapes of graphite across the surface of the paper? A blank page. This is impossible, whispers the mind. It will never get done. Like all the other things you say you are going to do. How's that garbage can looking? The litter box? When was the last time you showered? When was the last time you said you'd do it? Well, you worthless liar, answer. Welcome back, my
You're
old...
saying your audio is low, buddy.
Oh. Okay, is this any better?
JB, how's that?
Hey, JB, can you hear me better now? I can actually see it now. Let me maybe move the mic closer. Ooh, there we go. Haha. All right.
Sorry, go ahead.
No worries. Not a fine. There it is. I have so many windows open. All right, so here we go. Welcome back, my old friends. Depression and low self-esteem. A blank page. Increasing pressure on the chest. And now the lower abdomen wants to play too, cramping ever so slightly. Is that numbness in the left arm normal? Is the tightness in the chest really just anxiety? No, best not think about that. That will not be named or why I should consider that. A crunching sound between my teeth, and now the oddly salty taste of eraser has wandered into parts of my mouth where it shouldn't be. I pull out the pencil from between my teeth and see that the band of metal that is normally a cylinder is now pinched at the end with only a little bit of eraser still trapped. The eraser end has a look similar to the freshly scraped edge of a block of Parmesan cheese. I spit out the rest of the eraser. Eraser burns were popular when I was in junior high, popular enough that there was a PSA about the dangers of eraser burns. I never thought it was cool. I thought it was really stupid, to be honest. Then again, I think a lot of what got popular back then was stupid. Not much has changed, has it? Once again, the smell of a freshly sharpened end of the pencil demands to be noticed, and I'm transported back to grade school and the smell of pencil sharpener. I can hear the laughter of my classmates as our pent-up energy is coming to a head. Days and days of indoor recesses, thanks to the snow, makes for a volatile situation. Hey, you need to get to writing. Ugh. ADD is the worst as an adult. A blank page. What is up with that tightness in my chest? This is not normal for daily anxiety, is it? Maybe it's... No. Best not to think about that. Because that will lead to the other thing I cannot name. Naming it makes it real, and I can't afford to have that be real right now. But naming both things that, yet being able to tell the difference, is you considering both options. And you can only consider both options if you've accepted that those could be happening. Rotten fucking brain. It's not a heart attack. Chest tightens more. Breathing becomes more labored. Fuck. I didn't want to call it that. That particular that is always the first to come to mind and is always the least likely. Your grandpa and your uncle weren't that much older when they died than you when they died of their heart attacks, and your grandpa was much younger than you when he had his first one. I'm fully aware of that, fucking brain. How else are you able to tell me these things? Great, I'm having an argument with my own mind. That's crazy, isn't it? It is, and you should kill yourself. How about you fuck off into traffic, brain, okay? I have more important things to do. A blank page. So write already, fraud. Write. I won't stop you. Ugh, I hate myself sometimes. Then kill yourself. Go ahead. You know you want to. Sadly, I kind of do. I won't, though. Life is much better with me in it than not. Are you sure? Fuck you, self-esteem issues. I could pull out my phone, get in fights on Twitter, and feel better about myself for a short moment when I prove someone is dumber than me. But what does that get you? Honestly, nothing. But I do get to escape from my rotten fucking brain for a bit. I could use a nap. I'll be here when you're done avoiding doing anything and everything else that you should be doing, and I'll mock you even worse for it. I'm just so tired. My chest hurts. My stomach hurts. Pretty sure my left arm is hurting is purely psychosomatic. Only an EEG can tell for sure. Damn. Wish I had an Apple Watch Series 4 now. Wait, I should be writing. A blank page. Maybe after I nap. Down all the pills in the bathroom, then nap. No. Are you sure you aren't having a heart attack? Yes. How can you be sure? Because it's just a panic attack. How does it feel now that you've acknowledged that you're having one as opposed to trying to deny it? Happened anyway, didn't it? Just like it always does. Shut up, brain. But if it lasts longer than 5 minutes, then maybe it isn't a heart attack and you missed your opportunity to call for help. Who needs suicide when we'll die of natural causes instead? Shut up, brain. You can still call 911. Slow, deep breaths. Listen to the bird chirping outside. Listen to people mowing their yard down the street. Smell the clean air after the rain. Suit yourself. But your writing still needs to get done. God damn it. A blank page.
Wow. Yeah, I think it's a great example of our brains when we're going through it, right?
Yeah.
It's trying to talk yourself off a ledge, trying to make sense of things, trying to have a sensible conversation with yourself when that destructive demon in your, in the back of your head is raising its tail and ready to strike. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
It's depression's a motherfucker, and it puts you by its nature in a dark.
Oh. Okay, so Oz just fell offline.
Sorry.
Yeah, your connection's actually getting pretty bad.
Okay. Can't win today. Sorry.
Yeah, and honestly, I just realized as I was reading it, it's like, oh, I've read that before, but that wasn't the that wasn't the one I thought it was. It was actually Insurmountable Tasks, which I can't find. Of course, I can't find it.
A big part of depression for me is I find myself pushing myself deeper into it with emotional masochism is what I call it. I find things, ultimately you don't want to feel that way, but I purposely seek out things that will hurt me more, drive me deeper into it, make me almost like I deserve to feel that way, and I'm going to make goddamn sure I do. That's where today's topic really comes up. Because in the moment, if we can't think of interventions for ourselves, and maybe our therapists aren't working, and our friends don't know what to say, or we're in a place where we just don't want to let our friends know where we are, because you don't want to inconvenience anybody by having them have concerns over you. There's something that I've learned that's helped me to break the cycle. So the first part of it for me, when it lets up a little bit, is really looking at what the problem is and admitting that there is a problem, right? That problem isn't necessarily the depression itself. Obviously, that's a problem, but it's the things we do to ourselves that become the problem. For me, it's the getting high, getting drunk. It's the isolating myself. And when anybody checks up on me, I tell them, "Oh, I'm doing great. I've just been really busy. I have to catch up with you another time." And then, I go back to drinking my tears away.
I know that all too well.
Right. I'm ashamed to be feeling this way. I'm supposed to be a man's man. I'm a big dude. I've been a fighter. I've done all these stupid machismo things in my life. I have expectations of myself. This isn't who I should be, and it's, pride cometh before the fall, and so that pride will prevent me from reaching out to people or allowing myself in that moment. So in that moment of clarity, when I'm in the middle of a depression, in a depression, I start to identify the different parts of what are unhealthy for me, which is exceedingly hard while you're depressed, because for me, I feel like I'm deserving them all at the moment. So how do you identify something as wrong that you feel you deserve, right? And it's the wrong kind of entitlement. But as I break them down, I start to think about what can I do about them. For me, some of those things I'll identify is the self-isolation, like I said, the eating, the binge eating, the drinking, the drugs. It will be going out of my way to expose myself to hurt more. A great example of that is I separated from my ex-wife, and It was not on my terms. I didn't want it, and I spiraled hard. Now, hindsight being 2020, her and I both agree it's like the best decision of our adult lives, and we're amazing friends now. She has grown to become an amazing person. I like to think that I'm a pretty decent human being. I'm still learning to be a better one. But back then, it was like it was a inconsolable loss, and so that emotional masochism was. I was like, I know she's on dating sites. She's on, the swipe this way, swipe that way sites, the love me for me sites, the whatever, and so I would go hunting and I would find her on the sites again and again, days after we split up, looking at her pictures and going, she didn't dress up like that for me for a long time, and she's really hunting somebody.
Man, you are reading chapters of my life right now when my ex-wife left me and we were still friends on, at the time, MySpace, before Facebook was around. Yeah. There's a great meme. It shows Yoda saying, but it's not worded like Yoda says it. It's like, never go and look at your ex's profile, for all you will find there is pain.
Yeah, fucking facts. So I, like, when I say I'm an emotional masochist, it gets bad. So in a moment of clarity, I'm stealing that from the 12 Steppers. Hats off to those of you who are in the program. What I do is I identify the different things. That one is easy, going and looking at your ex's profile, right? But it's the harder ones to identify that we overlook because we just don't think about them. How about taking a shower every day? How about doing laundry and putting on clean clothes? There's something to be said about the feeling of clean drawers and socks.
And also something to be said about being clean and climbing into a clean bed with fresh sheets and everything. It is an amazing feeling, and I don't know it well enough. I'm just going to say it right now.
Yeah. A brand new, like, Sarah used to make fun of me, or she still makes fun of me, because I have so many pairs of socks. One of the reasons is I wouldn't wash my socks forever, and I would go to Wally World, pick me up 3 or 4 packs of brand new socks, because it was like little hugs for my feet. I'm not a foot fetish person or anything like that. I actually don't even like feet. Feet are kind of gross to me. But
yeah, you say that now.
But you give me some brand new socks to put on them. I love my toesies nice and warm. It just brought me joy. But it's little things like that. It's realizing that the unhealthy things are avoiding connections with other people, avoiding leaving the house, things like that. And so identifying those things, how many times have you saw something or realized you're doing something that wasn't healthy and you're like, I'm not going to do that anymore. And then you go use the bathroom, come back and do it again. Right? Because it's just an empty statement. There's no organization there. There's no goal involved. What I start off with my list of things I identified that I want to change to help me become more emotionally healthy. And I look at what the big goal is. Right? The big goal is to try to normalize my life a little bit and to stop the spiral as much as I can. The goal you would think would be to not be depressed anymore. That's a really big goal, and that's not something that I myself, I am confident that I can immediately stop, and just setting myself a goal of not being depressed, I'm setting myself up for failure. Not that I don't believe I can break through the depression and move on from it. Um, but it's such a monumental task that in that moment, I'm setting myself up for failure. So what I do is I break it down into small, attainable goals that I let them become my North Stars, my guiding light. Um, so when I don't have a forethought or I'm not having a moment of clarity, I can look at that goal that I've written on a piece of paper, carry it with me everywhere I go in my pocket, look at it every morning, look at it before I go to sleep, reminding myself of those goals. It should also be said that when I go through my goals, I only do one at a time. Giving yourself too many goals at one time spreads you too thin, especially when you may not have the mental fortitude to deal with that type of thing. Again, setting yourself up for failure. Now, if like I was saying earlier, if you've never been depressed, hopefully this helps you understand the people who may have been around you who are depressed that you've seen. But um, it's everything is harder. So what I do is it's something I stole from work. I've been professionally, I've been in leadership positions for close to 20 years, probably. And my biggest um, joy in that is helping develop people. So I use the skills I learned there to help develop myself. And what it is, I created SMART goals, right? SMART is an acronym. Um, it stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. To use every day in the business world. And I just made it more personal. So, looking at my big picture goal of stop stop my life from spiraling. Um, I look at the little goals that it's going to take to do that, like very individualized. And I treat it kind of like waypoints in a video game. If I meet a goal, I got to that waypoint, I'm solid, save the game, get ready for the next mission, right? So for me, um, there's really three that I thought of that stood out to me, and I kind of brought it up a little bit earlier. Um, a big one was setting my tone for the day was a really big goal for me. And I'll get into the details in a minute, but that's where looking at your goal, having it on a vision board, writing it on a whiteboard, having it as the background of your phone, having it set as the alarm on your phone when you wake up so it reads on it. Anywhere you can see it as many times a day as you can see it, so that when you're not consciously trying to follow the goal, you're constantly remembered or reminded of it. This goal, it may sound silly to some people, but it was a game changer to me. And the goal, the best as I could remember, was written: you will get up every day at 8 a.m., make your bed, take a shower, and put on clean clothes. To achieve this goal, I will have to complete the task on time at least 5 times in the next 5 days. So all of this is about setting yourself up to win, right? If you strive for perfection, you leave yourself, when you're vulnerable, to possibly failing really quickly and really easily. That first day you miss that goal, you may as well just give up on the goal. You can't do it anyways. That's what your brain's been telling you about everything while you've been depressed. But if you miss it once, it gives you the opportunity to double down and say, I'm not going to miss it again. I'm going to make this goal. And by having it be just 7 days, that's really, really kind of attainable. If I would have said 14 days, or if I would have said, do it 20 times in the next 4 weeks, it's too far reaching. It's really far reaching. But I can see to next Thursday. I can plan between now and next Thursday And if I only focus on those 7 days, I can get this right 5 times. So the a big part of that, why this goal? Um, Getting into a routine is really important for a lot of people. May not be for you, but I have really, really bad ADD. And so uh, one of the clinicians that I had talked to about it when I was first diagnosed, and I was diagnosed as an adult, so you can imagine how my childhood was, um, told me about the power of routines. And so getting myself back into a routine helps me uh, feel more stable. There isn't so much chaos going on. And getting up at 8 a.m., even if I didn't have to work, it was still something that I needed to accomplish, and I did. And that was a win. Making my bed is easy. I am I am not a neat person. If we shoot this podcast on video, obviously you guys can't see it, but if you were able to see my room, it's not the cleanest, um, and it's not dirty. It's just cluttered. We have a lot of stuff, right? But to make your bed first thing in the morning and to see your bed with a made bed, your room always looks cleaner. You have dirty clothes everywhere, but if you have a perfectly made bed, it makes the whole room look better. And who doesn't like going to sleep at night in a bed that's been made? Uh, Taking a shower, um, it's wasn't included in this, but a big part for me is I love singing in the shower. I listen to positive songs. I only listen to positive songs in the shower for some reason. So I'll put it on and all by my onesie, listen to, be singing my heart out to whatever I want. And be able to be passionate in it and sound like I actually know how to sing, with all the reverb off of the tiles, and clean clothes just feel good, right? This is part of faking until you make it. When you're done, you look at yourself in the mirror, you look like the person you were before you were depressed. And I'm seeing back in the mirror the person I want to be once I get through this depressive spell. So the way the goals work is after I complete this goal, I move on to another one. I'm no longer holding myself accountable to the first goal when I move on to the second goal. However, I do my damnedest to keep the behaviors from that first goal going, and I build upon them with each goal. The second goal that came to mind was be the friend I wanted to be. Everybody that I've met through MI Mental are amazing people, and the people that I've talked to in the chat or Discord it's everybody I can tell you all are amazing friends to your friends. I wanted to be that amazing friend to my friends who are to me, even though they're calling to check on me, and I'm like, no, I'm fine. As soon as I hang up, I'm like boo-hooing it. I wanted to be them, so I gave myself the goal to be the friend, that I wanted to be the friend that I wanted, you know. And that goal was something like, you'll reach out to at least one person via text and one via phone, to check on them and see how they're doing. The contacts must be focused on them. To achieve this goal, I'll have to complete the task one time, I will have to complete this goal at least 5 times in the next 7 days. So the same parameters as my first goal. This is a powerful one, and this is a hard one. in depression because we tend to self-isolate. We don't want to talk to people. A lot of us don't. Some of us will will some of us will reach out, and I'm happy for those of you who can. I'm not one of those people, and so by doing this, it does a couple of things. When I reach out to those people, I get to hear about their lives, and I have a pretty happy bunch of friends. So I get to vicariously enjoy their joys, soak in some of their happiness. And it reminds me that there is joy out there. It's not all this shit that's just stuck in my head and heart, but there is joy out there. And that's what I'm striving to be able to find. And on the flip side of that, if they're not having a good day, I find out I'm not alone. Now, often I didn't share how bad I was doing. I might share that I was having a bad day. And I'm not saying you shouldn't share, but for me, just the way my personality works, I wouldn't share. But hearing that they're in a bad day, I got to try to help them a little bit, talk through it. And like at times it felt hypocritical. Like I don't want to deal with my depression, but I'm gonna help somebody deal with theirs. That whole escapism. But helping them out was, felt good. I mean, I live by the credo, do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. The only reason you should be doing the right thing is because it's the right thing. Not the byproducts of feeling good about it. That's okay. You're okay to enjoy things that you're doing. But if you're just looking for the pat on the back or you're just looking for the recognition, you're not doing it for the right reasons. And in those moments when I was depressed, if I was doing some of that, I might have been seeking that out, and I'm okay with that because we got to give ourselves some leeway as we heal. The connecting with those people, again, started to make me want to connect with them more because I was continuing to break the cycle. That self-isolation coming out of the bubble, it was uncomfortable at first, but it gets more comfortable and then it becomes desirable, and that helped. The third example that I'll share tonight are random acts of kindness. These are it kind of goes hand in hand with the last goal, but it was sometimes the hardest, sometimes the easiest, but what I feel to me, because of my credo that I just shared, was the most selfish. But like I said, we got to give ourselves some leeway as we're healing. Random acts of kindness. The goal was something like you'll leave the house with the intention of performing a random act of kindness to someone you don't know. To achieve this goal, it'll be completed. You'll have to complete the task 2 times over the next 7 days. It's about the small wins. Leaving the house when I'm depressed is the hardest. So saying I got to leave the house 5 times in 7 days, I would fail. I might fail by the 3rd day. And I knew it. So trying to keep it reasonable. If I can make myself go out more, I would go out more. Right. But this is so rewarding in doing, even when you're not depressed, it's rewarding in doing. It's, if you just passively pass somebody panhandling and you give them a buck or 5, that's cool. But when you go out with the intent of helping people out, and that's a big thing. My dad was homeless off and on for 10 years, so I have a strong connection to, or a lot of empathy for homeless people. I would get clothes that I didn't want, the thousands of socks I had, I would bring those with me. I would find homeless people and give them socks or give them shirts or bring them food. When I still lived in San Francisco, I would um, volunteer at a soup kitchen. Um, it's to really understand the plight of homeless people. Um, I I learned it by hanging out with my dad when he was homeless, and he's like, "You want to go to lunch?" And I was like, "I don't have any money." He's like, "I got you." And I was like, "Oh, Dad has money. He's gonna take me out." He took me to a soup kitchen. Um, I met some of the most amazing people that day. I had met to that, you know, and so doing those things felt good, but a big part of that was getting me out of my head. It forced me to stop focusing on me, focusing on my pain, focusing on the shit I hated about myself, and actively think, critically think, what do people need? What's the weather like? What time of year is it? What has been the climate for homeless people, in whatever city I was living in, and try to perceive what those needs are, and then put something together for them. All of that, all of the act of doing that was, I'd like to say, just out of the goodness of my heart to help them out. But what I was doing is I was breaking that thinking, that the circular thoughts, saying I can't do anything, and I will be a servant for life. It is my purpose to help. And so once I put that goal in place, I knew I needed to get out of the house and I needed to go help somebody who, no matter how I felt, I knew had it worse than me. And I would do that. And getting out of the house got me talking to people. And sometimes, especially because I do the homeless outreach stuff, despite how bad I felt emotionally, made me feel so fortunate for the life that I had. Because a lot of them that I've met were in the life, were homeless because of a lot of the types of bullshit I did when I was younger. I should be dead. I should be in prison. I should be homeless. And I feel like I won the luck lottery by not being in those situations. But getting out of the house, I'm no longer self-isolating. Getting out of the house instead of, and the reason that I did random acts of kindness to somebody I don't know is when I'm depressed, I don't want my friends to know. Unfortunately, I wish I was okay with them knowing, but I'm just not. And we have to work with what we got. And so going out and meeting people that I don't know and talking to them about their lives, if I'm lucky enough to have those conversations. And sometimes I'd be able to find myself being able to open up to them a little bit. And it's refreshing, and it's eye-opening to see somebody that is in financial dire straits, way worse off than you are. Having empathy for me, showing sympathy sometimes, I mean, you can see it in their eyes, like, hey, I might be this way, but at least I don't feel like him, and like, but it's like, it was really refreshing. So we'll say that's the end of week 3. For 3 weeks, I've now been getting up every day, well, almost every day at 8, showering, making my bed, and getting ready for the day, putting on clean clothes. I'm now starting to rebuild the relationships with my friends that I've been hiding from because they've been concerned about me, because I've been calling somebody at random, texting somebody at random. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes when that happens and they don't respond, I'll be like, well, technically I texted them, so I get points for today. And we all have those rough days, and I allow myself to be out because I'm looking for the win. I'm not looking to cheat, but I'm looking for the win. And these wins start to stack. My third, random acts of kindness. I'm not just the one winning. I'm helping somebody else win that day, bringing a smile to somebody else. Like that's amazing. And I'm doing all 3. were stacking them one on another, and there were more that followed. Um, the last real time I did this, I think the process probably took me about 6 weeks, and I think I failed halfway through it. I just collapsed, and I didn't collapse, but my give a fucks were gone. My bag of fucks was empty, and so I relapsed, went back to getting fucked up every day. Thankfully, it was just a few days, and um, I had the presence of mind to go back to my goals. Um, I forgot I forgot to mention part of the process. Once I achieved the goal, um, it's don't I don't know if it's tradition or what you would want to call it, but I would take a look at the goal. I would read it for the last time once I've completed it. So setting the tone for my days. At the end of day 7, at the beginning of day 8, read it for the last time. Know that I've met that goal. Kind of celebrate it quietly with myself, and I will burn that page. And to me, in my mind, I think it's silly. I look at it as burning that bridge so I don't have, so that is not something I need to conquer anymore. That problem's not going to come back to me. I did the same thing for, be the friend, be the friend I want. Same thing for random acts of kindness. After I failed the last time I really did this, because it was so fresh, I was able to quickly go back and write these goals down. And instead of trying to do all three at the same time, I want to set myself up for the win. And so I started over, set the tone for my days, and then be the friend, and then random acts of kindness. And eventually, what that turns into is you build more goals week after week, small, obtainable goals. You're building goals around what your life looked like when it was running the way you wanted it to, and you have slowly forced your way back into it. So instead of having the time to put yourself down, to beat yourself up, to not be able to get out of that circular thinking that's holding you back, you can fall back on your goals that you've written down. So you don't have to be strong enough to think of the solution. You just need to have the willpower to follow the goal blindly in the moment where you feel that goal is stupid and why'd you write it to begin with. If you can do that, it can help you. You're basically thinking for yourself when you're on, in the past for when in the future you're not able to. What happened, like after that 6 weeks, I basically turned back into my old self. The my life wasn't simple. The depression wasn't fully gone, but the depression wasn't killing me. Right. So when we get depressed, it's really hard to find this quiet moment that where we can get that moment of clarity. So you could potentially write yourself some goals that you would like to do when you're not that way, if you know you're prone to depression. If you're in therapy, talk about the idea with your therapist. Go ahead and see what they think obtainable goals for you may be and how you could write those out. You can always reach out to me in Discord, and I'd be happy to help you out as well. You can also reach out to me through the mimental.net site. If you go to mimental.net and look at the top right, you'll see links to our Discord, which is an invite to Discord, to our server, our YouTube channel, and Facebook. You can find our links to contact us there, and any of us here will be willing to help you out. Depression isn't a joke, and it can really hold you down and cripple you. But some of us are lucky enough where we can fight back in small ways, and hopefully this will be a tool that you can use to fight back against your own demons. Sorry, I wasn't super involved with the chat tonight. I have a hard time with reading and following my thoughts, that whole ADD thing. But I want to thank you for listening to another episode of Am I Mental? So today, I've been your host. I'm Osh.
You did a great job, dude. Seriously. I may not have been involved much, but I was listening the whole time. Yeah.
I'm glad.
And honestly, the chat it died after I read my blank page. Which I don't think that was a bad thing. It's just that the thing is, when you talk, people really tend to listen. Like, I get lost and just listen. And that's a good thing. Yeah, thank you very much for taking over. Yep. Everyone's saying that now, too. Kat's thanking you. Bo said that we were focused. Yeah. Like I said. And, like, this whole time, too, I've been also looking for that original insurmountable tasks, which was the real catalyst to this. And I can't find it. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah, it's rough. Like, the littlest things that we take for granted can seem like insurmountable tasks. I've literally sat on the edge of my bed and staring at my shower going, I know I need to take a shower today. I'm getting kind of ripe over here.
Yeah.
Get your ass up and go shower.
Yeah.
And,
and you just can't.
Literally 45 minutes later, I'm in the same place, staring at the shower. And the difference is, if I have a goal, I'm I'm fortunate. I'm very goal focused. And so if I have that goal, I'd be like, well, I can get my points for today if I go take a shower. So I need to go do that. And and it happened. So, and I can make myself that way.
Yeah, there was a meme that I saw once, and it wound up becoming something that really helped me out a lot too, on being able to break out of the depressive cycle. If it's the extra steps that are getting in your way and preventing you from doing something that you need to get done, like taking a shower. If it's the extra steps of, it's like, okay, I could get undressed and get in the shower. But it's the time of getting your hair soaked, getting the shampoo in, rinsing yourself off, getting your body washed, getting that taken care of. If you have a beard, getting your beard wash on, your face scrub and all that. You know what? Just go sit in the water and let it flow over you.
It's true.
You'll still come out feeling better. Are you truly clean? No. But are you better for it? Yeah. If it's scraping off the food and pre-washing your dishes before you put them in the dishwasher, because dishwashers don't actually wash dishes as well as you would like, nothing says you can't just put your dishes in there and run it, and if they're still dirty, run it again. You can run it as many times as you need to. They will come clean. If the extra steps are what are in the way, then cut out the extra steps. Even if you have to sit in the showers and get soaking wet, what's the worst that happens? You have wet clothes. So what?
I've done that. It's, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, is it great? No.
No.
But
I I couldn't do the stiff upper lip thing anymore around my friends and family. And it's when my mom had passed, and one of the things that she taught me was when you feel something, she's like, you can try to fight it forever and just throw punches at the dark in the dark at it, or you can let yourself feel it hard, feel it intensely, embrace it. But the most important part is let it go. And that's what I did with my mom. And I hit my breaking point, and I was home by myself. I didn't know what to do with myself. I just turned the cold water on and hopped and stepped in the shower. Thankfully, iPhones are waterproof by then. But it was
yes, yeah. Yes. No, I felt that one.
Destroyed the key fob, and my almost brand new J's weren't happy with me when I was done. They look clean. They were a little soggy, but it's what I needed in the moment.
Exactly. And in the end, you come out better for it. Yep. And even Kat said, once I could drag my ass into the shower, it's easy. It's the dragging myself into it. And honestly, I felt that. Amanda, I feel that.
Yeah, I mean, Kat's spitting truth right there. It is, like, at least for me, the hardest part of anything that seems impossible is the first step. Is your very first step, towards it. If it's a step towards the shower, it's getting up off that bed. If it's changing her clothes, it's just stripping the old ones off. Back when I was a lot bigger and a lot more out of shape, I didn't think that forget running a 5K. I didn't think I could walk a 5K. And I had beat myself up so much about being out of shape that I couldn't do it, that, I was stopping myself from even trying. And then that first step off my doorstep, I blinked and I'd walked I'd walked the 5K around my neighborhood. But it was like just trying to get past that negative voice in my head to do it. Right? Small incremental steps.
Yep. And honestly, it was actually a blank page. I was looking for something that didn't exist. I actually started a podcast, pseudo podcast on SoundCloud. I called it Insurmountable Tasks because that's how it felt. I made a meme once. Sorry if I just kind of barged in on there. Just a ADD, bad mental place.
No, you're good.
I did a meme once where I went what normal people see, and it showed a basket of laundry. What someone with ADD, anxiety, and depression sees, and it was a huge-ass mountain of laundry. Yeah. Everything you view is distorted to be bigger than it is. Everything becomes an insurmountable task.
My daughter used to get really overwhelmed with cleaning her room when she was younger.
I still do.
And I'd get really frustrated with her and be like, just pick everything up and put it where it belongs. Throw the trash away. Do this or that. And it didn't sink in to... it took me a while to do it. And I feel like it's a parenting fail on my part. So I wasn't as patient as I should have been. But eventually it clicked. I'm like, you know what? Forget everything that's all over your room. Just pick up the trash and put it in the garbage can. Don't worry about the rest of it. Only doing trash.
Yep. Take it by layers.
And exactly. Next day, all right, all your clothes, put them in hamper or garbage bags. If you run out of hampers, she's like me. She had a ton of clothes. We had a bad habit of not wanting to do laundry, so just buy new clothes.
My wife that I have now, the back of her Mitsubishi Eclipse was literally just a mountain of clothes for that same reason.
Yep. Yeah, like if you look in my closet, like it's ridiculous. I have the closet is probably like 7 feet deep. It's a walk-in closet. It's like 7 feet deep. My whole top bar is so full that the clothes are pushed together. They wrinkle on the bar because they're so compressed. And then I have a second bar underneath it that is like 90% full. And
so you have more room.
Yeah, well, it's because there's laundry that needs to be done. And Kat says she represents that remark.
Yeah.
And and Sarah has one bar of clothing, and she's so organized, like I love her to death. She perfectly organized her dresses, her shirts, her pants, by style and color. And she's not even OCD, right? But she knows what she wants. But the convenience of what she does is she'll be working on the house, and she'll be like, "Oh, I got something on the shirt. I need to change. I need to run to the store. Hey, can you go grab me a shirt? It's the third section from the right. It's a green one, the third type of clothes from the right." Like, what do you mean third type of clothes? Go look at it. I'm like, oh, that's clearly different types of clothes. Okay.
Like, these are definitely dress-up clothes. These are definitely,
Yeah. Like, she's amazing that way.
And, Kat, congratulations on completing a load of laundry yesterday. I know that celebration.
For sure.
Right now...
How many times have you gone to do laundry? You're like, finally doing laundry. Sweet. And then 3 days later, you're like, what's that smell? You're like,
I gotta run my laundry again.
Exactly.
Now, right now, my big challenge that I have is that we have a separate laundry room, and I am contending with Mount Foldmore. So
that's one thing I can't do.
I can't stand it.
I
could sort, I can wash, I could dry, but fuck, I hate putting away.
I hang everything. Everything gets hung.
And even that I hate doing.
Yeah, that I don't mind too much. Although you wouldn't think, right? But Micah has been doing a lot of our laundry to her son, and to get points for a system we have. And I have a bunch of clothes that he's washed and laid out for me.
So, I mean, this point system, is this the difference between sleeping in the hole in the basement and getting to be in his bed?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a really good... So, when I grew up, there was no point system. It was, do it or get your ass whooped. And then, if you cried while getting your ass whooped, my dad gave me a reason to cry. That was my point system, right?
Yeah.
How many swings?
The system that we're getting ready to implement for my kids, because they're getting to that age now that they actually are interested in money, is this chore equals this much money. You want money? Go do chores.
Yeah, when Sarah comes on, I'll let her talk about it. She's been really, she's got the point system down pat, and it's different chores or equal different points, and the points can be used for different things or turned in for money. And let me tell you, that little boy, when he's motivated and he wants something, I'm like, I want to bottle that energy and save some for myself, because he gets to go in and gets things done. The kid's amazing.
My parents used to pay us because we had an acre of grass, so you can imagine how much yard work that is. And we had, yeah, she completed included putting some stuff away. That is. When I hear somebody say that
what you were supposed to put on today, which didn't make it.
Yeah, but I mean, she's wearing it, so I guess that counts still.
There you go. That works.
So one thing that my parents did, and my sister and I, we took full advantage of it. We had multiple pine trees in our yard, and we had an acre of manicured grass. My parents paid us a penny a pine cone. You know how fast... a penny a pine cone. Well, you can't mow pine cones. They're hard as hell to rake. So it really has to be manually picked up. And if you just leave them there, they make your yard all lumpy and irregular, and you get dead parts, and all bad. So they paid us a penny a pine cone. Be like, I think I want to go buy a candy bar. I'm going to go pick up 50 pine cones.
We tried to buy a candy bar not that long ago, and it was like $2.
Yeah.
The what? That's yeah.
Not to get political, but anybody's noticing the gas prices have been creeping up for the last month and a half or so.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it. I drive a truck.
Ooh, you can feel your soul being squeezed out as you squeeze that handle for the gas.
Love
no!
When I...
And don't forget you're in California. Most expensive gas in the nation.
Kind of hard to want to go out and be social when you can't afford the gas to get there, much less the drinks at the bar. You know?
Yeah. So how much is that beer? $6. Are you kidding me?
Right?
And no, I'm not exaggerating.
No.
It's like I could pay twice that and get a 6-pack at home.
Oh.
Plus, I could drink naked.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, I could drink naked at the bar, too, but I'd get in a lot of trouble.
I'm sure a lot of people have done it. Depending on the bar, it might be encouraged.
I worked as a KJ and a DJ at dive bars. I can assure you, people do try.
Yeah, my best friend's a KJ at a it's kind of a dive in Orangeville. It was more of a dive before it changed owners, but there have been some experiences there.
To give you an idea of what kind of condition, like the dive that I worked, they actually own 2 bars, same name, 2 different locations, one in Shingle Springs and then one in Sacramento near North Highlands. Yeah, that one, 2 nights I DJ'd, there was a shooting in the parking lot.
Trying to keep things lively, I guess.
Oh, the ammunition was quite lively, let me tell you.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but
yeah,
getting back to depression and breaking the cycle. I mean, if you saw me right now, you'd know that I'm depressed.
Yeah, definitely.
You can see it when I smile. I don't smoke, but I sure got smoker's teeth.
Yeah. You smile with your mouth and not your eyes?
I do.
Yep.
I really do.
Tell.
I mean, when you rip out a genuine laugh out of me, you can see it in my eyes, too.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, but today's episode is little tools about what might help you get out of your depression or to take some control back on your life that your depression may have been impacting. I'd like to see this become a conversation in our Discord. If these are a couple of things that have helped me, and I'm sure all of you listening have things that have helped you in the past. And I'd love to read about them and hear about them, and I'm sure other listeners too, and everybody in the MI Mental family. If you haven't joined our Discord yet, I highly encourage you to.
And
it's really easy. It's really easy to if you've never been on Discord, it's really easy. Or even if you haven't, you're not part of it. If you go to mimental.net, again, top right corner, looks like a little alien, a little white icon. If you click on it, that will bring you into Discord. You can quickly set up an account. It doesn't cost you anything. Or it'll take you to our Discord page, and you can get involved.
And Bo's asking, are you giving us homework, man? to Oz? And I was going to start typing it, but I'm just going to say it's like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like homework, but it's more like therapy. The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. And it's like, I know all the things. I've been in therapy long enough, and I have pulled myself out a bit, and I am getting better. I mean, hell, we have a channel in our Discord, Self-Care Bingo, that I started. I put up a bingo card. It's the pinned message. Save it yourself. Fill it out as you go. I fill mine out the next day. I actually got a blackout. I had never gotten a bingo before, and then one day, I'm like, go through. It's like, take a shower. Yep. Got dressed today. Yep. Talked to a friend. Yep. Sat with my feelings. Yep. Gave myself a compliment. Yep. Well, that's one row. And you go through the whole card. I was like, yep. Holy shit, I got everything.
Yeah. Something I forgot to mention that that brings up is part of what helps when you're feeling down is just doing something. I've helped people a lot. I've been a powerlifter forever, and I've helped train a lot of people. And people who are just getting started, who are down on themselves because they may not have the physical capabilities that they wish they did, or making the gym bro mistake of going and comparing somebody else's workout to their workout.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm like, yeah, you don't have my genetics. I wouldn't wish my genetics on anybody. Yeah, I'm strong, but I got the internals of an 85-year-old, you know. But just the act of starting working out, or just the act of setting yourself a goal, just the act of doing something to help yourself out will help move the emotional needle in the positive direction, into the green. Just knowing you're doing something to take care of yourself helps, no matter how small. If each little thing you do for yourself, in your mind is only worth a penny, well, eventually you'll have a buck, right? So yeah. It's the little things it's the little wins that add up that will make things easier. And like I said, we would love to hear the things that you come up with. Maybe I haven't given you homework, though. If we can get a small running list together, maybe we can create a fallback list for everybody here, where you have that moment of clarity, but you can't put your finger on what to do. Maybe you can check our Discord and you can see what's worked for somebody else, and you can give it a try, and your win from yesteryear can be somebody else's win tomorrow just because you share.
Ha, we got a sticker now. Our Discord, we have a sticker!
More of those wins.
Seriously. Yeah. Again, thank you for coming on. Seriously, the whole point, honestly, of the Discord is that we're building a community here. You guys in the chat, every time that you come in, and there's some regulars that come in all the time, some that come in for a while, then they disappear because life gets busy, and then they come back. And I'll see conversations that'll start striking up during the little instrumental thing. Like, hey, how's it going? Hey, how was your surgery? We already have that community started. So let's take it to the Discord and make it so it's more than just the 1 to 3 hours once a week. If you're struggling, reach out. If you can reach out to us individually too. We're on there. If you don't want it to make it, public. There's a number of channels in there. We have the Anything Goes, which literally that's what it is, just anything goes. Episodes General, we have the art exhibit, suggestions. So if you have some ideas you'd like to see or hear, by all means put it in there. We have a memes page because, of course, you have to have memes. Life lessons, it's sitting there, it's ready to go. Self-care bingo. Then also we have the episode-specific stuff, which I started one for seasonal affective disorder. If anybody else wants to join in on there with more seasonal affective disorder stuff, by all means. There's a whole bunch of pictures that have to do with my stupid dog, and he used to attack honeybees because they stung him. So people put a bunch of pictures of their of dogs that have been stung. The dogs still look happy as hell, but yeah. Yeah. And we even have voice channels, where we may start doing those little
mini episodes would be a voice.
Yeah, like a little
better.
Yeah,
meet and greets, and that'd be really fun.
Yeah, and also, like hey, you know what? I just realized this, and I just wanted to share it. It's not long. It's not enough for an episode, but
Yeah. We have things in the works. Just in case this episode is going to help any of y'all out, the idea of writing goals, in the specific format that I write them in, it's called the SMART goal format. I'll go ahead and I'll write something up on how to write a SMART goal, focusing on mental health. And I'll go ahead and put that in our Discord channel, one of our Discord channels.
And I just created a channel under episodes called Smart Goals to Improve Mental Health.
There we go.
So now we have a channel dedicated for that.
We'll put up how to write a SMART goal. We'll probably pin that one. And then I'll put up some of the SMART goals that I've written for myself.
And there is nothing wrong with taking his SMART goals and adapting them to yourself.
Absolutely not.
When you first start learning SMART goals, it's actually one of the better ways to do it, is to take someone else's and model it to yourself, because you're new to it. It's like, consider it like training wheels.
Yeah.
There's no shame in that. Yeah, we're not going to say, oh, you plagiarized that. You know what? If it helped you, good. Plagiarize it.
Yep. And if you need help writing your own SMART goal for yourself, feel free to reach out to me directly, os@mimental.net. You'll be the first person to send me an email. It's fresh. Nobody's messaged me yet.
Yeah, I could have. I just don't want to.
I appreciate your honesty.
Well, there's that delay when I could just text you instead.
There you go. Yep.
All right.
I think we've covered everything for tonight.
I think so. And again, thank you for taking over for me. Yeah, there's stuff. Yeah. The disassociation episode is coming. I have a lot of grieving to do right now, and trying to tackle that issue, which scares the living shit out of me, on top of grieving, is just too much.
Yeah. I think you're living a great example right now, which is, it's important for us to know when to help ourselves before we try to help others. Know yourself. Know when you need to take time. Never be shy about taking it, because you are important. You and how you feel matters.
Very well said. There's a t-shirt there for you. You are important.
We'll have 1,000 of them. Yep.
Hey, Bexy, if you're still listening, you're supposed to be the t-shirt queen. Chop, chop. I gotta get you the credentials. Anyway, Bo did a good one too. Be fair with yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kat's asking how my wife and I are doing. She knows the details a little bit more about the death in the family. And I will just say that we are falling apart and struggling about as well as you would expect. But we are also, we're coming together closer now through it. Where
It's great that you can come together through it.
Yeah. Also, her and her siblings are getting a lot closer over this too. So, yeah, thank you, Kat. I genuinely appreciate that. Of course, Bo didn't ask. Jerk. Yes, it's a coping skill. I use humor. Anyway, until next week, I'm E.
Awesome.
We'll catch you then.